my friends, welcome to your Friday weekly message. So I'm doing today's weekly message a little bit different than how I usually do them because today I have a little bit of a migraine and this is like my fourth one this week. So instead of canceling weekly messages altogether, I'm just going to do one big one. The extended version of this is going to be a little bit, probably hopefully a lot longer than what they usually are, which is about 25 minutes. So this is just going to be for the general collective. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. It wasn't for you. If it does resonate, amazing. Love that. Parts of this reading might resonate, other parts may not. So I would encourage you to stick around and watch as much as you possibly can. And I'm going to start with, like I did yesterday, Astro deck to see, you know, what signs is today's message going to resonate for? Like, what collective am I reading for? Please and thank you. What collective am I reading for? Please and thank you. What collective am I reading for? Please and thank you. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, I'll show you these cards. We have 9th house, 12th house, Jupiter, Leo, Uranus, Chiron, oh, and then we have Venus as well. You know what I say, it's not a reading with me if I'm not dropping cards all over the place. So I would say that if you have 9th house or 12th house placements, if you know astrology, this reading may be a little bit more relevant for you. I'm also going to say if you Sagittarius, Aquarius, Libra or Taurus risings specifically, Leo placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. And I'm going to say if you know anything about your Chiron placement, this reading may also be for you. Which is trauma, wounds, healing, pain, for those of you that are curious if you don't know what it's about. But yeah, that's the type of collective that we're reading for today. And I think even with Chiron being here, I have a feeling this is kind of what we're going to get into today. But yeah, that's okay. Oh, we also have Gemini on the bottom of the deck. So Gemini placements as well, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay, what deck do I want to start with? Okay, we'll start with some themes. Because why not? Okay, what are some themes I have for this collective right now? Please and thank you. Collective. I'm seeing like things that, like a white dress, like something that's really, things that are really like, as I'm speaking, the love card comes out. So maybe some of you are getting married, planning to get married, thinking about marriage. There's just this like pristine, clean element to your lives that seems relevant. It could be wedding, marriage, etc. Maybe you know someone getting married soon. What are some themes for this collective right now? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. A lot of green. Holy macaroni. Okay. The color green may be relevant for some of you as well because I'll show you these cards. We have isolation, rest, reflection, movement, balance, and creativity. Okay, let me lock in here for a second. I feel like you are entering a period of time where you feel the need to retreat. I feel like some of you, or a lot of you, are going through like a hermit era, and I don't mean that as like, oh, I'm self-isolating and I'm, you know, doing horribly. I feel like the hermit era specifically talks about like needing to be introspective, needing to take time for yourself to rest, needing to maybe for some of you be alone. Some of you are introverts and not 444 on the timer. Some of you are introverts and not necessarily having enough alone time. And I think that that's really gonna start to impact you mentally. And if it hasn't already. And it's gonna, the lack of alone time is also, there's a lot of, oh my god, there's a lot of messages coming through. The lack of alone time is also impacting your ability to reflect. If you are just going through life kind of on autopilot, doing the things that you need to do, you know, checking boxes, whatever. You're just going about your day, you're going about your week, and then it turns into months, and months and months and months go by. And suddenly, you have all of these issues that pile up, or you have all of these thoughts that pile up, and suddenly you feel overwhelmed. There's a lot of movement coming or happening in your life already that you do not feel adequately prepared for. Hence the desire for isolation, hence the desire for alone time, hence the desire to rest and recuperate. And if some of you are also feeling like you need to rest and are so stubborn against resting, and I don't just mean sleeping. I'll tell you right now, sleep and rest are not the same thing, okay? Sleep is something your body needs to do every night in order to live, right? Sleeping is like a survival thing, okay? Rest is not necessarily integral to survival, but it is integral to your well-being. And if you don't rest, you're not, you know, decompressing. I think that's another aspect of this, is you're not decompressing. And rest looks like different things for different people. Like maybe, you know, rest for some of you is engaging in your hobbies. Maybe rest is listening to music. Maybe rest is, you know, rotting on the couch and watching your favorite TV show, watching your comfort TV show. Maybe rest is just doing things, like I talk about this a lot too, self-care and rest, especially this rest card, they kind of go hand in hand as well, because self-care isn't necessarily what a lot of people think it is. I think people think self-care is like doing a face mask. Like they think about self-care in a very Venus-oriented way of like, you know, things that look beautiful and things that make you feel beautiful and things that, you know, are a little bit maybe superficial. And to me, self-care, this is what I tell a lot of my clients, self-care is doing the things for yourself that you know are going to help you even if you don't want to do them. Self-care is taking yourself on a hot girl walk. Self-care is getting into bed on time and not scrolling on your phone for 3 hours and then you're up all night and tired the next day. Self-care is making your bed every morning. Self-care is cleaning your house. You know, like those are things that help you in your day-to-day that you don't realize are self-care or an acts of self-love. So that might also be really relevant and really important for some of you. And I think with creativity here as well, especially with reflection, creativity any way that you can engage in a creative act is a great way for you to take some time to reflect. Maybe you're into drawing, maybe you want to doodle, maybe you want to journal, maybe you want to write something, and that's your creative outlet, and you can kind of process your life through those outlets. Maybe, you know, you like to sit down and, you know, there's different ways to be creative. People make different things all the time, and it's so beautiful and creative, and I couldn't possibly even begin to lay it all out, every single option of creativity for an outlet that you could possibly have. But you know what you like, you know, things that help like pull that creative muscle, you know. So creativity and reflection, I feel, go hand in hand for this collective as well right now. But it's even with the balance, like this, I feel like this is really self-explanatory. There's the balance between sleep and rest, the balance between isolating yourself and overbooking yourself, the balance between feeling like you have a lot going on and needing to counteract that with, you know, taking some time for yourself. And it's a very delicate balancing act, but I do feel like it's one that's necessary for you. So, yeah, so if that resonated, continue watching. I'm gonna get into some tarot cards now, and we're gonna see some details. What is this card? Oh, right now. Thank you. What is this card? What is this card? Feeling like there's this energy of like, okay, because I'm gonna forget it if I don't say it now. There's this energy of feeling like if you take time for yourself that other people are going to not enjoy, that you're doing things for yourself and they're going to kind of leave you in the dust. I do feel like this is more of a fear rather than something that's actually going to happen. What is this collective mixing right now? Please and thank you. Okay, that is way too many cards. This is collective mixing right now. Please and thank you. This is collective mixing right now. Please and thank you. One more. There are two sides to every coin, is something that I'm hearing. Two sides to every story, two sides to every coin. One may even argue that there's three sides to every story. Yours, mine, and the truth. And I think that that's a beautiful segue into the Ace of Swords, which is on the bottom of this deck, and the Six of Cups reversed underneath of it. There's this energy of misremembering details from the past. I think, you know, it's difficult to use your memory as something to rely on when it comes to deciphering facts or truth or clarity, because the memory is fickle. It is. Like, every time you recall a memory, it changes. Did you know that? And I think that there's an element here of, you know, feeling like you want to trust yourself and feeling like you're trying to do that through looking back in the past and going through your memories, or maybe, you know, maybe you're going through like actual writings of things that you wrote in the past or things that you said in the past, recordings, videos, like writing journals, anything like that. Old social medias as well may count, maybe an old spam account. And context is everything. Context is everything. And if you are looking at these things with no context, it's going to be a little confusing. Or you're going to get, you know, a warped perception of, you know, oh, I forgot that happened. And it's a little bit hazy. And I forget what I was saying, but I was talking about the Page of Wands. Trying to feel like you're in control. Trying to feel like you are in control. And I think that that's a good place to start, is looking at, you know, what have I been through? What did I, you know, looking at old social medias or looking through your journals or, you know, whatever you're doing. That's a great place to start when it comes to trying to decipher things that you're needing answers to or you have questions about. But I don't think that that's where you should stop. I think that it would be beneficial for you to let that information take you elsewhere. And I don't know what elsewhere is, but I know there is an elsewhere. And I think that that's probably a personal journey for each of you watching this, so I'm not gonna dive into that, but I'm also hearing nostalgia is a mind trick, which I know is a lyric, so interesting. I'm gonna show you these cards, and then I'm gonna yap at you a little bit. So we have the Two of Cups reversed, the Eight of Swords, the Emperor, Page of Swords, the Lovers, the Three of Wands reversed, Four of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Cups reversed. And yeah, I pulled 9 cards, which is a few more than I usually do because I'm trying to make this a longer reading so everyone gets more bang for their buck, okay? More bang for their time, because I'm not doing 3 separate readings today. I could not. So there is this deep fear, like I was talking about earlier, because I do remember saying that. Sometimes I forget, but I remember. Where you think that if you isolate long enough, that everyone that you know and love is going to leave you. And that's the excuse that you're using to not progress forward. There's something in particular that you are avoiding asking a question about. And I feel like this could be like, maybe you know you're not gonna like an answer that you ask your partner or you ask your best friend. You know you're not going to like what they have to say if you ask the question. And it's not necessarily fair for you to make up their mind for them, if that makes sense, because you're assuming that they're going to say something that you don't like based on a question that you have. And this is interesting because this is exactly what's going on in the book that I'm reading right now, which is the sequel to Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know how to say her name. So that book might also be, those two books, that one book might also be relevant for whoever's watching this. You could be, you know, an avid book reader. But if you have questions that need answers in order for you to feel fully connected to someone, or to feel, you know, fully both feet into a relationship, then you need to ask said questions, because they may be integral to your decision making. They may be integral to the relationship. There may be some sort of answer that can actually help you feel more secure. But you don't know unless you ask, and making it up in your mind that they're going to say something you don't like, or, you know, even if someone's going to say something, even if you know that they're going to say something you don't like, let them say it and figure it out as you go, because there's literally no way that you can go through life not asking important questions and just kind of living a delusional, not a delusional, but like living a different reality than the one that's actually in front of you. I want to clarify these, the Emperor and the Page of Swords as well. Let's start with the Emperor. Can we clarify the Emperor? Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Eight of Wands reversed. I'm hearing something about like not wanting resources to be taken, not wanting something to be taken from you. An option, an opportunity, a conversation. There's a fear here that you also won't be able to defend yourself. That you won't be, like, if you, maybe some of the questions that you have for this person, you know they aren't gonna like. And I feel too that if you feel that you cannot be completely honest with, you know, someone you're in a friendship with, in a relationship with, that's not a good sign. You should be able to feel like you could say anything to someone that you love, and that they will be able to have an actual conversation with you, not, you know, shut it down, or not make you feel bad for having questions. Even the moon on the bottom for the clarifier, like, there is an energy here of, like, we're both not asking the important questions. We both know there's something under the surface that we're not talking about, but why are we not talking about it? 1818 on the timer. What is it that we don't want to address? Because this isn't just from your side either. This is also from another person's side, of where it feels like you can sense that there's something that needs to be said, but nobody's saying it. Nobody's saying it. Can you clarify the Page of Swords? Page of Swords in the spread? Page of Swords in the clarifying deck. I love when it does that. But there's an emphasis here on timing. You're waiting for the perfect time. You're waiting for that perfect opportunity to say, hey, I've been thinking about this. Maybe you're waiting for someone to be in a good mood in order for you to bring it up as well. But timing seems to be of extreme importance. 9/11 on the timer. Every time I see an angel number, I'm just like, boom, angel number. Those numbers might, if I say a number, it might be relevant for you. It might be like, if you've been saying this number, boom, this is a message for you. But yeah, timing is of the essence. Like, there, you know, and maybe there will never be a perfect time. There will never be a time when everyone's in an amazing mood and everyone's having the time of their life. Because then, if everyone's having the time of their life and in the best mood, are you really going to want to bring down the vibe like that? Like, you just have to rip the Band-Aid off. And I feel that very strongly, that the Band-Aid just needs to come off, and you need to come out with it. You need to come out with it. And I feel like the rest of the spread kind of gets into some things that you can do to get yourself there. So I'm gonna dive into the rest of this on Patreon for today. Patreon.com/witchashton. The link is below. I also do personal readings if that's something you may be interested in. You can get a personal reading from me, witchashton.as.me. The link is also below for that. So happy Friday. I'm sorry that I couldn't do a full weekly messages like I usually do, but hopefully this suffices and you got something out of this. But I will see you guys next week for all 3 full videos, hopefully, if my migraines go away. But that is all. Happy Friday. Happy Freya's Day. Enjoy your weekend.